Hari Om, sir. We are live now.
Hari Om. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru, Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati, and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha, Sadashiva Samarambham, Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam, Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram, Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam, Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam, Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time, I think the verse number 261, it was stopped in the Viveka Chudamani, the Vakhyana. We are starting from 262 today. As it was said, the Tattvamasi Mahavakya, in a very short, Acharya is once again, exposing or giving the explanation, Vyakhyana, in such a beautiful manner. And the last charana of each shloka, if you remember last time it was told, it always ends with Dhamma Tattvamasi Bhavaya Atmani. This is the Adesha regarding the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada has given to the whole mankind in the form of the treatise called Viveka Chudamani. He is telling his Shishya, Uttamadhikari, look, Bhavaya Atmani, always meditate and perceive that point, have that perception, always in the mind, always reflect upon in the mind, always think about, and always abide in that. That is the point. Bhavaya Atmani. In your entire psyche, in your mind or buddhi, whatever the words can be used, in your antakarana, always you must hammer the point, imprint the point. Atmani bhavaya, Brahma tattvamasi. Tat Brahma tvamasi. You are that Paramatma Sarupa, Paramachaitanya Sarupa, that Nirakara Tattva, yourself. You are that only. You are that Paramatma only. So, in that continuation, the 12th time in the next shloka, 12th time, now same point Acharya says and concludes. Brahma tattvamasi bhavaya atmani. Yachakasti anaparam paratparam pratyega rasamatma lakshanam satyachit sukhamanantam avyayam Brahma tattvamasi bhavaya atmani. Yachakasti anaparam paratparam pratyeka lakshanam satyachit sukham anantam avyayam Brahma tattvamasi bhavaya atmani. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವುದು ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಇದೆಯೋ ಆ ಹಿರಣ್ಯಗರ್ಭನಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಾಕಾರ ತತ್ವಕ್ಕಿಂತನೂ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾಗಿ ಅತಿ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ನಿರಾಕಾರ ತತ್ವವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ತನಗಿಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಯಾವ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠ ವಿಚಾರವೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗಿಂತ ತಾನೇ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ ಸುರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ವ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಯವಾಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ವಾಂತರವಾಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆತ್ಮಲಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿಕೊಂಡಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅಂತಹ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ನೀನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀಯ. ನೀನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀಯಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ he says here, ಯತ್ ಚಕಾಸ್ತಿ ಅನಪರಂ ಪರಾತ್ಪರಂ, that which shines without depending on anything else. It is self-shining, self-radiant. It doesn't depend on anything else for its own activity. Swayam Jyoti Prakasha Swarupa. It is beyond even the supreme Hiranyagarbha. Paratparam Anaparam. Paratparam Anaparam. It is beyond the Hiranyagarbha. Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswami writes the bhashya here. For Paratparam, Mahaswami says, Hiranyagarbha, that is, though unmanifest, it is the Sakara Tattva of Parameshwar. Hiranyagarbha, which creates by its own potency of Maya the entire universe. So this Brahma Vastu is beyond that. Hiranyagarbha means what? It is beyond the Sakara Tattva, because it is Nirakara, the primordial Sanatana Moola Avyakta, as Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada elsewhere calls it. So that Brahma Padartha is the ultimate reality. It is beyond the Ishvara Tattva, which is Sakara Tattva, with Nama, Rupa, Guna and Kriya. Parameshwara exhibits himself, Ishvara exhibits himself as Chaturmukha Brahma, Vishnu, Mahavishnu and Sadashiva, Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Trinity. They represent what? Sakara Tattva. The unmanifest, absolute reality manifested in the form of God, Ishvara. So this Brahma Tattva is beyond the manifested, its own Sakara Tattva. That is the point. Paratparam Anaparam. Pratyeka Rasamatma Lakshanam. Satya Chit Sukham Anantam Avyayam. Acharya is so kind enough, using so many beautiful words. For Sat Chit Ananda, the Lakshanas of Brahma Tattva, he is using here Satya Chit Sukha. Satya Chit Sukha Rupam means Sat Chit Ananda Swarupam. Both are same. So this Brahma Padartha, this absolute reality is Sachidananda Swarupa. It is self-shining, the innermost, supreme, absolute Atman. So meditate in the mind with the Upadesha of the Guru, given that you are that Brahma Swarupa. Satya Chit Sukham Anantam Avyayam. It is infinite, unexplainable. How many times these words are used by Acharya? It is only for our benefit he is using this. Anantam, infinite. Avyayam, Avinashi. So such that Brahma Vastu, Tvam Tattasi. Tat Brahma Tvamasi iti bhavaya Atman. So meditate always in the mind. It is like that. Next he continues. Uktamarthamimam Atmani Swayam Bhavayet Pratita Yuktibhi Thiya Samshayadirahitam Karambuvat Tena Tattva Nigamo Bhavishyati. Uktamarthamimam Atmani Swayam Bhavayet Pratita Yuktibhi Thiya Samshayadirahitam Karambuvat Tena Tattva Nigamo Bhavishyati. Uktamartham idam. Uktamartham imam. So look, my dear disciple, Acharya says, whatever I have said so far about the Brahma Tattva Nirupana explaining the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. So far, I have told you in 12 different shlokas the different lakshanas of Brahma Tattva, and you are that Brahma Tattva. All the information I have given so far, Uktamartham imam, so far, whatever I have given you, Swayam bhavayet prathita yukti bhitya. Have these things in the mind very clearly. Meditate upon these things very clearly with the reasoning, with the yukti. With yukti means with the help of the Upanishad Mahavakyas and with the help of the Upadesha by the Sadguru, with the help of the Shruti Vakyas, with the help of the scriptures, what has been conveyed to you by me now so far, always have that point very clearly, meditate upon that point very clearly. ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಹೇಳಿದಂತಹ, ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ನಿನಗೆ ಉಪದೇಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಈ ತತ್ವ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಯುಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ, ಸದ್ಗುರುವಿನ ಉಪದೇಶದ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ನಿನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಸಂಧಾನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅನುಸಂಧಾನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮನನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮೆಲುಕು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಂತಹ ಅನುಸಂಧಾನದ ಮೂಲಕ ಸಂಶಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಶಯಗಳು ನಿರಾಸವಾಗಿ ಅಂಗೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ನೀರಿನ ಹಾಗೆ ತತ್ವ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ನಿನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಫುಟವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ನೇರ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ what he says here, just like the pure water in your hand, in the palm, which is very clearly visible to look at. When you look at the palm, the water is there, it is very clearly visible to you. Samshayadirahitam karambuvat example here. Samshayadirahitam karambuvat means without any doubt, you can see clearly the water in your hand. If there is, you have taken a small amount of water in your hand, in your palm, look at the palm, water is clearly seen. It is clearly seen without any doubt at all. So clarity, specific, just like that, just like that. Whatever has been said so far, by explaining the Mahavakya, by explaining the difference between Atma and Anatma to you, what is Atma Vastu, what is Anatma Vastu, have all the points in the mind. Meditate upon those things. Reflect upon those things. Do continuous manana in your mind with the help of the Upadesha given by Sadguru, with the help of Shruti Vakyas, Upanishad Vakyas like Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Ayamatma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. All these Shruti Vakyas and many more Shruti Vakyas, Upanishad Vakyas. Always go deeper, delve deep into the meaning, and with the help of the Sadguru's blessings and his Upadesha, always reflect on that. What is that? Tattvamasi. You are that only. You are that Brahma Padartha. You are not the body anymore. You are not the mind anymore. You are not the Antakarna anymore. You are not Buddhi anymore. You are not your Indriyas anymore. You are not that I also. See, the feeling of I-ness, ahankar, as it is called in Vedanta, ego, English word. The ego word doesn't denote correctly the exact meaning of the word aham in Sanskrit. Aham exhibits itself from birth to the death, and also from the death again in the next rebirth for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of crores of births. See, we are carrying that aham, ahankara, aham, I am this, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. So this ego is so totally identified, it has merged itself in our mind and buddhi. This false notion, this unreal ego itself is responsible ultimately for continuation of samsara from one birth to one birth, one birth to one birth. So totally ego means, ahankara means identifying from the first breath to the last breath in the life. I am means I am this sharira, I am this mind, I am this buddhi, I think, I act, I plan, I talk, I decide, I like, I dislike, I hate somebody, I like somebody, I love somebody, I feel happy at times, I feel very unhappy at times, I feel troubled, I am restless, my health is not all right. See, all these feelings are generated because of the I, ego, ahankara. Acharya says, samshayadirahitam karambuvat bhavayet prathita yuktibhi thiya. With the help of the Upadesha by the Sadguru and with the help of Upanishad Mahavakyas, simply meditate with earnestness. The effort is very essential. Initial efforts are very essential to remove these anatma feeling that I am the body, to remove the feeling that I am the sharira, I am the mind. So think on that, meditate upon that, as he says. Samshayadirahitam karambavattena tattva nigamo bhavishyati. So if you can go deeper and deeper and delve deep into this type of meditation, this type of manana, this type of reflection all the time, following the injunctions, upadesha, adesha, guidance given by the Sadguru, and also remembering holy scriptures, what they say on this matter, combining both and doing our sadhana all the time, seriously, concentrate with a concentrated mind and buddhi. If the sadhaka, if the disciple continues his sadhana, then Acharya says, Tena tattva nigamo bhavishyati. Only by the grace of the Guru or God, ultimately a time will come, the teachings of the Guru will fructify. The anugraha of the Sadguru falls upon. The anugraha of the divine falls into the mind. And the mind, when it becomes purer and purer, tattva nirnaya will happen. You will perceive the reality ultimately. You experience firsthand who you are. Knowing is different. Trying to understand is different. But self-experiencing directly, that is different. So, self-perception of the reality, that is different. So, that is called liberation. Ultimate truth, the point, all the Upanishads, Mahavakyas point to the same thing. What is the primary goal of the human life? Primary goal of the human life is, this precious life is to reach Godhead, in the sense to become He only. The ego should go down. The ego should be annihilated completely. Ahankara should be annihilated completely. Then only it is possible. What is left is pure Tattva Padartha, pure Nijabodha, pure Swarupa, Swaswarupa. The reality, only the reality remains, and that you are that. That's what Acharya finally hints here in this shloka. Because, see, there is just one point is there. All Mahatmans have made this point very clear, including our Gurudev in his book, Science, Scientists Search for Truth. This aham, ego, this I-ness, it is mithya, unreal. Actually doesn't exist. But with the help of the mind, with the help of buddhi, it is totally dependent on the sharira, body only. Because the moment the birth occurs, the first breath occurs, due to the effect of the Maya, Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti, what happens? This feeling of I, individuality, Swabhimana, I am so and so, I am, this sets in, sets in, sets in till the last breath. It is very difficult. And if you start searching, what is this really, this I? This I dictates every aspect in my life. This I decides every facet in my life. This I decides every action or inaction, everything what I perform, everything is decided by this I. And because of the I feel very happy sometimes, very sad sometimes, highly emotional. And because of the I, the next point, along with that, mine also joins. Please remember, Vedanta is very clear, Acharya is very clear. Elsewhere, number of times he has said, when the moment myself conscious feeling is there in the waking state, please remember, Vedanta is very clear. In the deep sleep, your I consciousness is not there. It is merged. Merged. ಗಾಢ ನಿದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ನಾನು 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 ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಅದು? ಆತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈವ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ತಾತ್ಕಾಲಿಕವಾಗಿ ಗಾಢ ನಿದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಸ್ವಪ್ನದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಸ್ವಪ್ನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ನಾನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಾನು ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸ್ವಪ್ನ ಶರೀರ, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಸ್ವಪ್ನ ಶರೀರ. ಆ ಸ್ವಪ್ನದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ನಾವು ಏನೇನೋ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೇವೆ. ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ವಪ್ನಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿದ್ರಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ವಪ್ನಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋದಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ನಾನು, ನಿದ್ರಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ನಾನು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಲೈವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಜಾಗೃತ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಬಲವಾಗಿ ಈ ನಾನು 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 ಅಂತ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಾಭಿಮಾನ, ಅಹಂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಯ, ನಾನು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಾಗಿಂದ ಸಾಯುವ ತನಕ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ನಾನು, ಈ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಈ ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರತೆಯಿಂದ, ಚಾಕಚಕ್ಯತೆಯಿಂದ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಏಕಾಗ್ರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಗುರುವಿನ ವಾಣಿಯಂತೆ, ಗುರುವಿನ ಉಪದೇಶದಂತೆ ನಾವು ಧ್ಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಾಗ ಈ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಯಾವ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನೋತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ scientists search for truth. The autobiography of our Gurudev, in the last 18th chapter, beautifully he summarizes this step by step, how the sadhana ultimately culminates, and finally how he writes beautifully in a simplest English that he perceived that this I is only a ghost. This I, the feeling of I, is only mithya. This I is unreal. It is not real. It has no existence apart from the body. It is there along with the body. When the body dies, the I also will go away. This ahankara. And it is transferred along with the jiva to the next one. So this continues till the mukti, liberation, salvation. So Acharya continues here. ಸ್ವಂ ಬೋಧಮಾತ್ರಂ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ತತ್ವಂ ವಿಜ್ಞಾಯ ಸಂಘೇ ನೃಪವಚ್ಯ ಸೈನ್ಯೇ ತದಾಶ್ರಯ ಸ್ವಾತ್ಮನಿ ಸರ್ವದಾ ಸ್ಥಿತೋ ವಿಲಾಪಯ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ವಿಶ್ವಜಾತಂ. ಸ್ವಂ ಬೋಧಮಾತ್ರಂ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ತತ್ವಂ ವಿಜ್ಞಾಯ ಸಂಘೇ ನೃಪವಚ್ಯ ಸೈನ್ಯೇ ತದಾಶ್ರಯ swatmani sarvada sthito vilapaya brahmani vishvajatam. In the last charana of this shloka, Acharya, in a clear-cut words, tells the Shishya, the disciple, look, Brahmani Vishwajatam Vilapaya. Ultimately, look, my dear disciple, ನೀನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ? ಕೊನೆ ಚರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ವಿಶ್ವಜಾತಂ ವಿಲಾಪಯ. ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಏನಿದೆ, ನಾನು, ನಮ್ಮವರು, ಬಂಧು, ಮಿತ್ರ, ಇಷ್ಟ, ಸಖ, ಶತ್ರು, ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ನಾನಾ ರೀತಿಯ ಈ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, ಇವೇನ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ವಿಶ್ವಜಾತಂ, ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಮಸ್ತ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ವಿಲಾಪಯ, ನಿನ್ನ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಅದನ್ನ ಶುದ್ಧ ತತ್ವಂ ವಿಜ್ಞಾಯ ಸಂಘೇ ನೃಪವಚ್ಚ ಸೈನ್ಯೇ ನೃಪವತ್ ಚ ಸೈನ್ಯೇ. ಅನದರ್ ಕೀ ಫ್ರೇಸ್. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ಸೈನ್ಯ ಎದುರಿಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಸೈನಿಕರು ಸಮವಸ್ತ್ರ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾಗ, ತಮ್ಮ ತಮ್ಮ ಆಯುಧಗಳನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿದುಕೊಂಡು ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಸಜ್ಜಾಗಿ ನಿಂತಾಗ, ದೂರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಸೈನಿಕರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನಾವು ರಾಜನನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಗುರುತಿಸ್ತೀವಿ? ಆ ರಾಜ, ಸೈನ್ಯದ ರಾಜನನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆತನ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟವಾದಂತಹ ವೇಷಭೂಷಣಗಳಿಂದ, ಆತನ ಕಿರೀಟದಿಂದ, ಆತ ಓಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರಥದಿಂದ ಈತ ರಾಜ, ಈ ಸೇನೆಗೆ ಈತ ರಾಜ ಅಂತ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿತೇವೋ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾಯ ಸಂಘೆ ನೃಪವತ್ಯ ಸೈನ್ಯೆ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಸ್ವಂ ಬೋಧ ಮಾತ್ರಂ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ತತ್ವಂ ವಿಜ್ಞಾಯ. ಇದು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕಾರಣ ಸಮೂಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಕೇವಲ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಆಶ್ರಯಿಸಿ ಆತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಾವು ಇರುವಂತವರಾಗಿ, ಈ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಶ್ವ ಸಮೂಹವನ್ನು ನೀನು ವಿಲೀನಗೊಳಿಸಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So Acharya is taking the example of the huge army. So in a huge army in front of you, you can find out the king in that group of the soldiers by his special unique dress, by the special identify the king. You can separate the king from the other soldiers by looking and observing. In the same way, just like you identify the king in a vast army, in the same way, the Karya Samuha and the Karana Samuha, responsible for the creation of the universe or the Vishwa, Prapancha. Karya Karana Sanghata. Karana Samuha means the causal body, that is Maya. Anirvachaniya Maya is responsible for creation. The Anirvachaniya Maya of Ishvara, the Maya of God Himself, potency of God Himself, responsible for creation. That is the primary cause for creation. Karana Samoha, primary cause for creation. What is Karya Samoha? That which is completely created, visible, the Prapancha, the Vishwa, the universe, the earth, the planet. And along with that, you find all types of living and non-living organisms around you in this Jagat. Jagat is visible. Kannige kaanta ide Prapancha. Adu Karya Samoha. This is the effect of the Maya. Cause is the Maya, the effect is Jagat. So, from the Maya and the Jagat, you separate with earnest, subtlest manana, thinking, reflection with the help of buddhi, separate from this cause and the effect visible in the form of universe, from all these objects, separate the Atmavastu, Brahmavastu. Then realize that pure intelligence, realize that pure essence, realize that Parama Chaitanya. Find out, realize that what is real Atman, what is Anatman. The whole thing, visible universe, the Jagat, Prapancha, Indriyas, body, people, everything is Anatman. The Panchabhutas, everything is Anatman. Only the absolute reality is the real Atma. So separate like that, observe and stabilize in that Atma Vastu itself all the time. Tadashaya Swatmani Sarvada Sthita. Sarvada Sthita. Tadashaya Swatmani. Swatmani Sarvada Sthitaha. Vilapaya Brahmani Vishwajatam. Vilapaya Brahmani Vishwajatam means, so stay put in that Atma, catch hold of that Atma Swarupa and remember you are that Atma Swarupa only. Stabilize, abide. Sthitaha means stabilize and abide in that pure Parabrahma Vastu. You become that only. Stabilize in that notion. You are the Atma Vastu. And Acharya says how to always stabilize ourselves in that feeling. How to remain in that feeling that I am the pure Brahma Vastu. Vishwajatam Brahmani Vilapaya. By gradually merging every visible, every subtle and gross manifestation of the creation, one by one, and go to the 5 basic elements. The 5 basic Panchamahabhutas are responsible for creation. Long back it was said in Vivek Chudamani and also well known in Upanishads. 5 basic elements. 5 ಪಂಚಮಹಾಭೂತಗಳಿಂದ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿದೆ, ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಗೋಚರ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಿಂದ ಮೊದಲು ಬಂದಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು? ಆಕಾಶ. ಆಕಾಶದಿಂದ ವಾಯು, ವಾಯು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಯಿತು. ವಾಯು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಯಿತು? ತೇಜಸ್ಸು, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಯಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಯಿತು? ಜಲ, ನೀರು, ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್, ಅದು ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಯಿತು. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಪೃಥ್ವಿ ತತ್ವ, ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಯಿತು. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಿಂದ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂತಹದ್ದು. ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾವ ಕ್ರಮ? ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಗೆ ಅವತರಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ. ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಘನೀಭೂತವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ. ಈ 5 ಪಂಚಮಹಾಭೂತಗಳು ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸಮ್ಮಿಶ್ರಣ ಆಗಿ ತ್ರಿವತ್ರೀಕರಣ, ಪಂಚೀಕರಣಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ವಿಶ್ವ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಯಿತು. ಇದು ಅವತರಣ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ. ಇದೇ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಒಂದನ್ನ ಒಂದರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲೀನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಸಂಹಾರ ಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇವಾಗ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲ ಚರಣದಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿಲಾಪಯ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ವಿಶ್ವಜಾತಂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಡೀ ವಿಶ್ವ ಸಮೂಹವನ್ನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲೀನಗೊಳಿಸು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಸಂಹಾರ ಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೊಂದನ್ನ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಇದ್ಯಾವುದೋ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಇದ್ಯಾವುದೋ ನಿಜ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ಇದು ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತುವಲ್ಲ, ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತುವಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಜಾಗೃತ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಸಂಹಾರ ಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಹೇಗೆ? ಅದು ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆನೇ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಸಂವಹನ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗೆ ವೇದಾಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? ಸಂಹಾರ ಕ್ರಮ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಸಂಹಾರ ಕ್ರಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸಂಹಾರ ಕ್ರಮ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭೂತತ್ವ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಪೃಥ್ವಿ ತತ್ವ, ಈ ಪೃಥ್ವಿ ತತ್ವವನ್ನ ಜಲತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲೀನಗೊಳಿಸಿ, ಜಲತತ್ವವನ್ನ ಅಗ್ನಿತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲೀನಗೊಳಿಸಿ, ಈ ಅಗ್ನಿತತ್ವವನ್ನ ವಾಯು ತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲೀನಗೊಳಿಸಿ, ಈ ವಾಯು ತತ್ವವನ್ನ ಆಕಾಶ ತತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ, ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಗೋಚರವಾಗಿ ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಂತರಿಕ್ಷ, ವ್ಯೋಮ, ಆಕಾಶ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗ್ನಿಯನ್ನ ವಿಸರ್ಜಿಸಿ, ಅಗ್ನಿತತ್ವವನ್ನ, ಈ ಆಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಅವ್ಯಾಕೃತದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅನ್ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಫಾರಮ್, ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಅವ್ಯಾಕೃತ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲೀನಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲೀನಗೊಳಿಸು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಇದು ಸಂಹಾರ ಕ್ರಮ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ last Charana Acharya says, you stabilize in Atma Tattva, Brahma Tattva, you are that only by annihilating, by discarding, by giving up all the notions of the visible universe or prapancha, one by one, step by step, step by step, step by step, by constant meditation and perseverance. Vilapaya Brahmani Vishwajatam. In Samhara Krama, all that has appeared from the 5 Panch Mahabhutas, that is Avatarnika Krama. From the absolute, creation started. And from this created sense, we have to go back to the absolute. We have to go back to the absolute. That is how this Bhutatva should be annihilated mentally. Clear-cut terms, this is unreal. So we have to remove that from the mind. This is not real. So Bhutatva should be merged into liquid, Jalatatva, water. And this Jalatatva should be merged into Agnitatva, heat, Tejas, and this Tejas Tattva, heat or Agni Tattva, should be merged into Vayu Tattva, the wind. This Vayu Tattva should be merged into Akasha Tattva, the space, ether, Vyoma. And finally, this Akasha Tattva, space or ether, should be merged into unmanifest seed, Avyakrita, that is Mula Prakriti. And this Avyakruta, unmanifest seed form, should be finally merged into Parabrahma Vastu, the primordial, causeless, invisible, Sanatana Mula Avyakta. This Avyakruta should be merged into the Mula Avyakta, Parabrahma Vastu. So this is the step-by-step annihilation as it is in detail explained in Upanishads. All that is in detail explained in Upanishad, Acharya is using only one sentence or one phrase here. Tatashaya Swatmani Sarvada Stito Vilapaya Brahmani Vishwajatam. So, merge everything in Brahman, ultimately it means you merge everything in Brahman. What is visible, the universe, Prapancha, Jagat, everything you merge. Merge means you must have the clear-cut notion that these are all manifested world is not truly Brahman, they are unreal. Behind this, the substratum is the Brahma Padartha. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Upanishad. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Basically, everything is Brahma Padartha. Basically. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ, ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ತೋರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮಾಯೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮಗೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ is next. बुद्धौ गुहायां सदसद्विलक्षणं ब्रह्मास्ति सत्यं परम अद्वितीयम्. ತದಾತ್ಮನಾ ಯೋತ್ರ ವಸೇತ್ ಗುಹಾಯಾಂ ಪುನರ್ನ ತಸ್ಯಾಂಗ ಗುಹಾ ಪ್ರವೇಶ. ಪುನರ್ನ ತಸ್ಯ ಅಂಗ ಗುಹಾ ಪ್ರವೇಶ. ಕೀ ಫ್ರೇಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್. Anga means is a exclamatory mark representing the disciple. Acharya is telling the disciple, look, my dear son, my dear Vatsa, my dear Shishya. Like that, Anga means my dear disciple. Sambhodhana Shabda. Anga means referring to the disciple. Look, Punarna Tasya Guha Pravesha. Anga Punarna Tasya Guha Pravesha. Please remember the key phrase, last charana of the shloka. Punarna Guha Pravesha Tasya. ನಿನಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಪುನರಾವೃತ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಭೂಮಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀನು ಹುಟ್ಟೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಿನಗೆ ಪುನರ್ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದೇ ಕೊನೆಯ ಜನ್ಮ. ಈ ಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲೇ ಈ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ನಿನಗೆ ಮುಕ್ತಿ. ನೀನು ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀಯ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ. ನಿನಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಮರು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಪುನರ್ನ ತಸ್ಯ ಗುಹಾ ಪ್ರವೇಶ. ಗುಹಾ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ. ನ ಗುಹಾ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಛಾಂದೋಗ್ಯ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಮಹಾಮಂತ್ರ, ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ. ನ ಸ ಪುನರಾವರ್ತತೆ, ನ ಸಹ ಪುನರಾವರ್ತತೆ, ನ ಸ ಪುನರಾವರ್ತತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾದವನು, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂಪನ್ನನು, ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ ತಿಳಿದಂಥವನು, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆತ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತ. ಆತನಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರ್ಮದ ಲೇಷವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆತನಿಗೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ನಚ ಪುನರಾವರ್ತತೆ ಅಂತ ಛಂದೋಗ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಬುದ್ಧೌ ಗುಹಾಯಾಂ ಸದಸದ್ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸ್ತಿ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಪರಂ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯಂ ತದಾತ್ಮನ ಯೋತ್ರ ವಸೇತ್ ಗುಹಾಯಾಂ ಪುನರ್ನ ತಸ್ಯಾಂಗ ಗುಹಾ ಪ್ರವೇಶ. ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಗುಹೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೂ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾದಂತಹ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯವಾದಂತಹ ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏಕರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಾನವಾಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ್ ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಅಂತಹ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ವಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ನಾನೇ ಅಂತ ಯಾರ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆಯೋ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ನಾನೇ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆಯೋ, ಆತ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪದಿಂದ ನಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಆತ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೇ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಅಂತವನಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲ. So what Acharya says here, see, inside the cave of the buddhi or intellect, the words used, buddhau guhayam sadasadvilakshanam brahma asti satyam param advitiyam. Param advitiyam satyam brahma asti buddhau guhayam. See, within the cave, literal meaning cave of the intellect, inside the buddhi, that parabrahma vastu which is beyond sat and asat, beyond perceivable, imperceivable matter, beyond visible, invisible matter, sat and asat, beyond gross and subtle matter, satyam is always the eternal truth. It is always existing by itself, permanently. There is no birth and death. Satyam, permanently it is present in its own way as it should be. Satyam, param advitiyam, the highest of the highest, the absolute. Only one sadvastu, there is no second. Advitiyam. Such Brahma asti buddhau guhaya. Such Parabrahma Vastu is inside the cave of the Buddhi. Tadatmana yotra vasayed guhaya. If you reside in that Brahma as Brahma Swarupa inside your own Buddhi, if you become that Brahma Swarupa inside your own Buddhi, then there is no rebirth for you. Acharya. Brahma asti buddhau guhayam sadasadvilakshanam satyam param advitiyam. Very simple words. Param advitiyam sadasad vilakshanam satyam brahma buddhau guhayam asti. That absolute Parabrahma Vastu, unmanifest, causeless cause. That supreme essence, that supreme consciousness, what we call God, that supreme Parama Chaitanya is residing within the cave of the Buddhi Acharyas. Now here, wonderful interpretations are there. Cave of the Buddhi in Vedanta also referred as, in Vedanta, not literally the space in the intellect. Don't get confused. This to be the space within your brain. There are spaces called ventricles in the brain. In the physiology, it is explained the brain has got inner spaces in the cerebellum region, cerebral region, the limbic system. There are spaces filled with cerebrospinal fluid. There is pineal gland space. No. So here, the cave of the Buddhi means don't get confused to the spaces in the brain. Vedanta is very clear in the parimarthic sense. It means the heart of the Buddhi. Heart, spiritual heart, not again your physical heart found in your body, in your left side, with 4 chambers, 2 auricles and 2 ventricles, pumping organ of the blood. Not that physical heart. In Vedanta, spiritual heart refers to, spiritual heart means in the center of your consciousness, where supreme consciousness is radiating. So that is called cave within the intellect, also called spiritual heart. One anecdote I remember here in this connection. One of the famous, well-known, closest disciples, very close to Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, was one Mahapurusha by name Jagadishwara Shastrigal in Tiruvannamalai. He came down there. And Jagadishwara Shastrigal was a great scholar in Veda, like Kavikanta Ganapati Muni, another great Mahatman, a disciple of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Kavikanta Ganapati Muni, like that. Jagadishwara Shastri also was a great scholar, humility personified. He had a great reverence to Bhagavan Ramana as his Sadguru. And he was master orator and a writer and a prolific poet also, Jagadishwara Shastri. And in fact, he was given number of titles like Vidya Vachaspati and Atma Vidya Bhushana. Great towering personality and with the highest reverence to Bhagavan Ramana as his guru. Once in front of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, other disciples were there. Jagadishwara Shastrigal also there. And he was trying to, formulate extempore Sanskrit shlokas like Kavikanta Ganapati Mahamuni. Extempore. Then he came down to one particular line, Samskritam line, and stopped. He couldn't go further. He couldn't complete that. Charana or the meter. Chandas as it is called in Samskritam grammar. I am not good. I am not good at all these things. So Jagadishwar Shastri was reciting in a low tone. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi was, as usual, sitting quietly, silent, as in Nirvikalpa Samadhi or Sahaja Samadhi, as it is called. Bhagavan's Samadhi is always called Sahaja Samadhi, natural state of Samadhi. Jagdishu Shastri said, Hrudaya Koharam Madhye, he started, stop. He couldn't continue. Hrudaya Koharam Madhye, stop. Everybody was silent, watching Shastrigal. Then immediately, within few seconds, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi loudly completed that Sanskritam one charana. Hrudaya Koharam Madhye, where Shastriji had stopped. Bhagavan said, Kevalam Brahma Matram. He completed the meter, Chandas. So it became a famous epitaph and a famous slogan in the annals of Ramanashram. Hrudaya Koharam Madhye, Kevalam Brahma Matram. Now, there, Kuhara means cave, inner space. Kuhara means the inner space, inside the cave space, Akash. So, within the Akasha, Hrudaya, heart. Hrudaya Kuharam Madhye, Kevalam Brahma Matram, Bhagavan. So, within the cave of the heart, only Brahma Vastu shines. Only Brahma Vastu, nothing else. So, that Hrudaya means same thing what Acharya is telling. Buddhau Guhayam Brahma Asti. Buddhau Guhayam Brahma Asti. Same. So, the heart there refers to the spiritual heart or the cave of the Buddhi, intellect, also means the spiritual heart. Buddhau Guhayam Sadasad Vilakshanam Brahma Asti Satyam Param Advitiyam. There, Hrudaya Koharam Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram. See the similarity, the beautiful versatility, and the simplicity of the profound words used in such a simple way in Sanskritam language. Even a person like this person sitting in front of you, who doesn't know Sanskritam at all in this lifetime, can understand those words. That is the greatness of Acharya. That is the greatness of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Hrudaya Koharam Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram. Anybody can understand this. Anybody can understand. We have to contemplate. It is not listening and forgetting. It is not hearing and forgetting. Every time that point should come in the mind, oh, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also said like this. What Acharya talks here in Vivek Chudam. Buddhau Guhayam Sadasad Vilakshanam Brahma Asti Satyam Param Advitiyam. Same thing Bhagavan says. See, if you contemplate Hrudaya Koharam Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram, what happens? This is called contemplation. This is called remembering Sadguru's advice, remembering and contemplating the Upanishad Mahavakyas, and with your yukti, with constant recapitulation. One fine day, when the vasanas gradually, they get purified, the grace of the Sadguru will fall and it will shine in the cave of the Buddhi, and then that Brahma Vastu, Swayam Jyoti, inside our own Antakarana will become totally perceivable, in the sense you become that only. You become that only. See, in Mundaka Upanishad, there is a famous mantra here, referring to this. Atmanam chet vijaniyat ayamasmi iti purusha kimichan kamaya shariram anusamjvare. In the Mundaka Upanishad, one Mahamantra is there. Atmanam chet vijaniyat. In case you know the Atman, in case you experience that you are the Atma Vastu, that's the meaning. Once you know that you are the Parabrahma Vastu itself, once you experience the feeling of Tattvamasi, I am that only. What happens? Atmanam chet vijaniyat ayam asmiti, ayam asmi iti, Atmanam iti, Purushaha kimichhan kamaya shariram anusamjware. Mundaka Upanishad. Once a knower of the Brahma, once a jnani, once who knows the Atma as I am, Ayamasmi Atmanam Vijaniyat Chet. I am that only. Once a person knows, a jnani knows Atma as I am, then for whom he is there to identify his body? Is there anybody else to identify that this is the body? He has become all in all. Sarvatma Bhava. Ekam eva advitiyam. There is only one padartha. There is no second. There is no second to explain that I am Atma Vastu. Jnani remains in the state where he need not, he cannot, he will not tell anybody that I am the Atma Swarupa, I am the Brahma Jnani. Never. Why? Nanu Atma Swarupanagiddene. Nanu Sakshat Paranjyotiyada Atmane ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಒಬ್ಬ ತಿಳಿದವನು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಯಾರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನ ಶರೀರವನ್ನ ಆತ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು? ಅರ್ಥ ಇದು ಮುಂಡಕ ಉಪನಿಷತ್. ಸೊ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾದವನಿಗೆ the knower of the truth will keep quiet and silent. There is no necessity at all for him to explain to the world that I am a Brahmajnani. He doesn't gain anything by explaining because everything is unreal as far as he is concerned. Brahmajnanige sakala prapanchave mithya swarupa anta ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಇವತ್ತಿದೆ ನಾಳೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥವನ್ನೇ ಆತ ತನ್ನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಳಗಣ್ಣಿನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೇ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನಾನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು? ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನನಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು? ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವೇರ್ ಎ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಎ ನೋಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟ್ರೂತ್, ಎ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿತ್ can exclaim, can profess to the world that I am a jnani, I am the knower of the truth. He will keep quiet, he will remain silent, he will always remain silent, always he will remain silent. So that is the point here. Uddhav guhayam sadasad vilakshanam brahma asya satyam param advitiyam tadatmana yo atra vased guhayam. Anybody who resides in that cave of buddhi as Parabrahma Vastu, anybody who identifies himself as Parabrahma Vastu, that means the one who gets Atma Sakshat, the one who becomes realized, is liberated in this life, liberated while still living in the life. Tadatmana yotra vased guhaya punarnatasya anga guha prave. There is no birth, rebirth at all. He is liberated while still the body is alive. So he is Jivan Mukta. A Brahmajnani, always referred as Jivan Mukta. Means, here it means, in the normal definition of Jivan Mukta, means there is no rebirth. The Jnani will not take another birth. This will be the last birth. As long as Prarabdha is there, the effect of the Prarabdha in this birth, the body will remain. And one fine day when the Prarabdha closes, the body will go away. The Jnani is not concerned about the death of his body because he doesn't identify with his body anymore that I am the body. A Brahmajnani is not concerned not bothered about the death of the body. And there is no rebirth. So that is the point. So with Guru Sankalpa, we stop here today. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate.
Hari Om, sir. Beautiful anecdotes you brought to bear to explain the points. It was simply mesmerizing to hear about
Grace of
Ramana
Sadguru.
Maharshi.
Yeah, grace of Sadguru. I don't speak anything. Guru will speak through my. All I can say.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, sir.